What's up, Internet? Welcome to the live stream. I'm Scott Griffin, and today I'm going to show you a bunch of really cool Logic Pro stuff. First, I'd like to address the Pro Tools faithful out there in the PureMix community. There's a lot of trouble moving from the Pro Tools world to the Logic world. So the first thing I'm going to do today is address a bunch of those core concepts that Logic has they're not exactly immediately obvious. So that's the first thing we're going to tackle, and it's going to really make that transition a lot easier. And it's really going to be helpful for beginners as well. And then I'm going to create a pretty dope little jam for you guys. This is my first live stream, so thanks for having me. Thanks for being here. I'm especially excited to be here because I think PureMix has like 5 videos that feature Logic, and I think 3 of them are how to get out of Logic and into Pro Tools, and I don't think any of them are in Logic Pro 10. So this is, the first one we're able to check out the new program as far as I know. A little bit about me. I've been using Logic for almost 10 years now. I use it for composing music for commercials. I also record and produce for local artists and make some pretty cool beats as well. I've also even used it for scoring marching band music for my girlfriend's marching band. So Logic is a pretty versatile tool, which is what I love about it. And no matter how you want to use it, there's going to be a way to use it for you. On Sunday, we're starting a masterclass. It's going to be 4 weeks, and we're taking it from the perspective of a singer-songwriter who has a song they've written, and they want to be able to quickly record a demo and share it with either their band or, share it with whoever they want to share it with. So we'll start from just a vocal scratch recording, and we'll work through an entire demo. We'll add drums, bass, guitar, all sorts of cool stuff. We'll go through tuning vocals and just kind of polishing up that demo to make it sound super professional. So with that, let's dive into Logic. On the right, this little plus sign looking thing is called the marquee tool, and this is the master tool, awesome tool, the best tool in the world for editing audio in Logic. This guy takes care of a lot of things that a lot of these other tools would, mainly the scissors tool. Ben said we lost audio.
Yeah. So let's just pick back up with editing audio. So we dragged in the clip, and we have the tempo, and
Okay.
go from there.
Are we back up?
Yeah.
Dope.
Should be good now.
Sorry, Mark's messing around. Mark's a Pro Tools user back there, and he's having all sorts of problems today. So yeah, picking up at editing audio. Your firstendary tool, as opposed to the secondary tool. Start over from the top.
Oh, you're good. Yeah. Let's go from editing audio.
All right, Ben, this is very distracting. Thank you. Getting text from Ben Lindell, everyone. Editing audio in Logic. Let me reset here. So your pointer tool is your first tool. If you click on this guy up here, you have a whole list of a drop-down menu of tools you can select. And then the key to editing, the magic tool over here, is this secondary tool, the marquee tool. You access the marquee tool, or whatever your secondary tool is set to, by holding down Command. And then you get that little plus sign icon. And with this tool, we can do tons of things. Mostly, you can slice audio like that by double clicking on it. I'm going to edit undo. You can draw a marquee area and just click on the region, and it slices that region wherever you may be. And this works with multiple tracks. You can copy paste, so I can take this and do the pretty standard option click and drag method to copy paste. I'm just going to throw that right up there. And so the other cool thing about this is it's not based on the selection. So even with nothing selected, I can just select this, hit the delete button, and I'm deleting a bunch of audio tracks at the same time. So if you have, a bunch of area in the beginning that you want to get rid of, it's as easy as that. The pointer tool does a bunch of cool stuff too. Besides clicking and dragging and selecting, there are click fields, or whatever you want to call them. The top one here lets you do a fade. That's pretty nifty. If you scroll or you move down on your region, it turns into the loop tool. Just drag that out as long as you want, and then even from there you can use your marquee tool and you're cutting that audio as well. And then at the bottom you have your standard dragging out the region. The cool thing about this is when you're adjusting the region size, it shows you the entire waveform of the entire audio file, not just the region you're using. So if you're trying to trim to, the start of the next line or whatever, and you want to know where the end of that note is, it's pretty easy to figure that out. Then, sorry, let me just switch something real quick. Did I mute that? Oh, I'm in solo mode. Sorry, I have some weird key commands going on. I'm using Pro Tools keyboard, so I'm a little thrown off by that. The next thing we're going to talk about is navigating. Logic, you're going to notice me flying around Logic super quickly, just kind of doing stuff like this. So what's going on there is we have these little scroll bars up here, a horizontal and vertical zoom. And to not have to, you don't want to go up here and use your pointer tool to access those. You can, your zoom buddy is the option key. So you hold down option and you see the magnifying glass. Now if I scroll up and down, I'm zooming up and down. I don't have to go over here and hit jumbo or micro or macro or whatever the hell you're hitting in Pro Tools. Sorry guys. And then if you scroll left and right, you can scroll vertically, horizontally. Nailed it. Not only that, you hit the option, you can click and drag a box, and that will just zoom in on whatever you highlight. Pretty cool, right? The last thing to show you with the zooming is the zoom key command, which is Z. Z will zoom in on whatever is highlighted. And then if you want to zoom out to see all your audio regions, let me just add a couple in here just so it's a little more clear. So we're zoomed in. If I'm zoomed in on if selected nothing, if I hit Z, I zoom out and I see all my audio regions, or all the regions that aren't selected. Everything. So finding your bearings in Logic is super easy. It's it's quite intuitive once you get a feel for it. Let's move on to playhead behavior. This is another big one for Pro Tools people. Just clean this up a little bit. In Logic, let's start with this. In Pro Tools, conveniently, I'll admit, the default playhead behavior, when you press play, the playhead plays, and then when you stop it, snaps back to right where it was. So if I play from measure 5, play for a while, stop, and then hit play again, it plays from measure 5 again. So you can listen to the same section over and over again. You can do that kind of thing with cycle mode in Logic, but it's kind of annoying that that's not an option, or at least it used to not be an option in Logic. They addressed it by, if you go scroll up or mouse up, whatever you want to call that, to your playhead or your play icon, you get this little drop down icon, and you can select play from last locate. Now, let me just show you. That problem is solved. You're playing from the same spot every time. I actually don't use that. I use a custom key command. So because in Logic, you can make custom key commands. So if I hit Option K, I pull up my key commands window, and I'm going to create one real fast for you. Go to last position. This guy is my favorite key command in the world. I use it all the time. And I'm going to set this up real fast. All I have to do is hit Learn by Key Label. I'm going to hit Control Spacebar. I'm going to replace all the stuff that doesn't matter. And now I have a stop in that spot, Control Space. So wherever I am, without having to play, pretty nice. You'll also notice in the custom key command menu, you can, first of all, you can save, export presets. So wherever you go, if you keep it on a flash drive or in Dropbox or something like that, you're set. You can also, they also have built-in presets in Logic. We have French for Fab. Scroll down to all these other awesome languages. US is the standard built-in one. And then you even have a Pro Tools version. So that makes learning Logic for Pro Tools users pretty easy. And this keyboard that I'm going to keep showing you guys because it's really bothering me comes into play a bit more. I'm going to load mine that I saved yesterday. Cool. Now I'm set and ready to go. On the left side of the screen here is the inspector. This guy over now. And it does a bunch of cool stuff. First of all, at the top you have the region section, and then below that you have the track. So whatever track I have selected pops up down here. Whatever region I have selected, you can see the title is right there. I can actually rename that. That's cool. And within this, I can adjust the clip gain by coming over here, gain. You just click on this right field and drag up or down, and you can see my waveforms over there on the right are getting bigger and smaller. I'm going to option click that to zero that out. Also, super important, you have fades over here. Now we talked about using the pointer as a fade tool, or you even have a fade tool up here. There she is. But a fast, awesome way to add fades, you can select all or select whatever regions you want, and you just click here and you're adding a fade, and you can see, let me just zoom in real quick, there's my fade. I can adjust the curve, pretty cool, zero that out. Here's the fade out right beneath it, and it's got the type. So if I want to do a crossfade, different types of crossfades, I'm usually hanging out in the equal powered crossfade world. Excuse me. That's how you do that. Also kind of cool. Super easy to just hit reverse. So you want, that's just a click away. That's just kind of a fun one. I actually use it a ton. I used to use a long workaround, so now it's they made it super easy in Logic Pro 10. So that's super awesome. I'm super pumped about that. The track, you get below that you have the track inspector. You got some stuff there, you can go through that. Nothing I actually use on a daily basis, but it's there. Real quick, if you go up to the top of the inspector, hit this quick help, and this guy comes up, just to show you how easy Logic learning is. Whatever I am hovering over, if you look at this quick help thing, it shows you exactly, it tells you what it is, what it does, and then it even has at the bottom, it says press command // I don't know which one. You click that for more information, and it takes you right to the manual. So if you like reading manuals, that's a pretty cool way to learn. At the very least, if you don't know what something is, it'll tell you a little description about it. Pretty cool. At the bottom of the inspector, you have these channel strips. Now, whatever channel strip, so you have audio 1, instrument 1, whatever channel strip is selected in my arrange window is focused in on over here in the inspector. Also, to the right of that is my output. What's super cool is if I create a send, I can switch from viewing the stereo on the right to viewing my send, which was just automatically created. Pretty cool. That's a super easy way. If I'm in it, I'm editing, I don't want to pull up my mixer and go find my send, and I just want to work on that, that aux channel. Easy way to find that. I can add plugins, I can adjust stuff. Super, super convenient. I'm gonna just get rid of that, keep it nice and simple. So let's take a look at the mixer. If you mouse up over here, this little icon right here is the mixer, but if I hover over it, it shows me X. X is the key command to open the mixer. This is my probably second most used key command because I'm constantly going from using the mixer to not using the mixer. You can see my talkback mic chilling over here. And let's just like talk about signal flow for a second. In Logic, the idea is it goes from top to bottom. This top stuff, it's kind of confusing. I'll get to that in a second, but we'll start at the input. For an audio channel, it's a physical input, whatever your audio would be. For a MIDI instrument, you can come over here, and these are like your raw MIDI instruments, and that's how you would open up just a default MIDI instrument. Beneath that, we have audio effects, plugins, as we mostly call them. Here you can load up all of Logic's built-in plugins, which there are a ton. One cool thing, if you load up an EQ, oh, excuse me there. If you load up, let's try this again, an EQ, it pops up in this little window above the channel strip. Also, gain reduction would be your compressor. You can actually just click on these and it automatically opens an EQ for you and a compressor for you because they figure most things you want to be EQing and compressing. So that's pretty cool. These plugins, how you click and hold to open a new plugin. Once it's loaded, when you mouse over it, you'll have a power button on your left that just bypasses it. Option click also bypasses it. If you click the center of it, it opens it up and you can mess around with that plugin. And the right is the little drop down arrows. That's how you can change or get rid of it, however you want to do that. Next, we have aux sends. Well, I guess bus sends. To create a send, you just click on that. And what it does, it automatically creates a send for me, or an aux channel for me. So bus 2, if I come over here and I look, bus 2 is my input. This is my new aux track. So I'm going to rename this, let's say, reverb. I'll quickly add a reverb to that. Neat. And now, from now on, when I go to the bus, it shows me bus 2 is my reverb aux channel. So that's a pretty cool intuitive way that it automatically creates sends for you. It puts them all the way on the right because we're in track view. And so for track view, it shows me all of my anything that's an audio track or anything that's a track up in the arrange window first. So these three guys right here. And then beyond that, it's all the auxiliary tracks. If I want to view my aux track up in my arrange window, I can click on that and I'll control click on the channel strip. And there's a create track option right here. And you can also just use the shortcut, which is Control T. So I'm going to do that. And you'll see it pops up in the arrange window. So that's pretty cool. If from there you can automate your auxiliary tracks or whatever you want to do. If you just want to arrange where it is in your mixer, that's how you would do that. So that's pretty cool. Output, pretty self-explanatory. We're going to the stereo out right here. You can also route things to different buses, create submixes, but there's a way cooler way to do that. We can talk about that later. Cool. Let's talk about the library. So if you come up to this left little icon right here, that's your library, or you hit Y. I'm going to hit Y. The library is where it's most fun for MIDI instruments. This is where you're browsing different patches. So I can come up here, hit bass, it loads up a bass, right? Or I can load up a drum kit, right? So what is this actually loading? It's a super easy way to browse patches, but let's take a look at what we're actually doing here. So here's my finger bass. It named it for me, finger style bass, named it for me conveniently. And my input is an EXS24. This is my instrument that it is, and each instrument itself has different, I can go through and pick different patches or whatever I want in each instrument. The library is kind of nice because it doesn't really care which instrument it is. It just tells you, here are all of your bass sounds available, your preset bass sounds available in Logic. And then the library also loads up an entire channel strip worth of stuff. So I have a bass amp automatically loaded up. And I have a compressor, pedals, echo. If I switch over to, let's say, a synthesizer, let's go. Here it just loads up a different instrument entirely, sculpture, and then it loads up an EQ, a compressor, and a delay. And it also even loads up, it makes and loads aux sends for me for auxiliary channel strips that, if we click on it, we'll see exactly what it is. It's going to the ambience 0.2 seconds long ambience. So that's coming over here, and it loads up a reverb for me. So that's pretty cool. And the really nice thing is I can save these, like I can make my own instruments and use them in other projects. So that's a super easy way to, kind of save cool ideas you have and load them up in other projects. Also, the library is smart. It knows if I'm on a MIDI track or an audio track. So for an audio track, let's use this right here. It's our vocal. This is the singer of my band, Drew. Don't change me. Just got a little chorus going on here. This is an audio track. I can hit voice. I can hit edge vocal. And now it loads up a whole channel strip full of plugins and sends. Don't change me. For my vocal channel. So that's a cool way to just go through different sounds. I mean, you can go tell. Don't change me. Pretty super, like it's, camera did something. We're just gonna move on. Pretty cool way to load up sounds and move through things quickly. So that's how the library works. I think, cool. Yeah, we're ready to get into some fun stuff now. I spilled water on myself. Oh, actually, I spilled it on the microphone. Mark's gonna love that. We'll address that later. We're ready to do some fun stuff. I'm gonna create a little song for you guys around this course. So, first thing I'm gonna do is just copy this course over so we can double it. Cool. And now I'm gonna record some stuff for you guys live. Probably gonna mess up a bunch, but I'm a fairly amazing musician, so we should be just fine. All right, let's load up a new audio track. To load a new audio track, you can come up here and press the plus button, or you can use the key command, as is with anything with Logic. It shows you exactly what it is. I'm going to load up a software instrument, and let's get the library going. I'm going to get a synthesizer bass going. Not that. Not that. Let's go. That'll work. All right. Oh, this is probably something worth mentioning. Up here is your click track. Here's your count in. So I'll need the click track to record because I'm recording to nothing but vocals. Don't change me. I wouldn't have it any other way. That'll work. Ooh, hang on. Just kidding about that. Cool. So I just recorded some bass. I did a pretty bad job. Let's go in and fix it. If you double click on your MIDI region, the piano roll pops up. This is where you can edit your MIDI notes, and you can even create MIDI notes from here. Just like up in the arrange window, we have a first and secondary tool. Normally the secondary tool, the most useful one is pencil, so I can just come in here and add stuff. I can actually just drag out a bunch of MIDI notes like that by hitting Shift Command. Neat. The other really useful one is the velocity tool. But velocity is also accessible over here. You can see I have a velocity slider and I can make it go up and down. You'll notice on this little note right here that the little line shows you loud and soft. So that's kind of nice. Plus, it's color coded. So as I get louder, it gets an aggressive red. And as I get quieter, it gets a cool, chill kind of a blue. So that's once you kind of learn that color coding system, it's easy to tell how loud notes are and what the velocities are, and then easy to edit them. I'm gonna quantize this because I suck and I just want it to be perfectly on the grid for now, because that's gonna be easier for moving forward. So how I do that, I'm gonna just select all, Command A, just like in any, that's like Microsoft Word right there, I'm pretty sure. And come over here, hit this Q button, or the command is just simply hit Q. I hit W. Q, there we go. Now everything snaps to my grid to the nearest 16th note. That's pretty standard across all platforms, so you can choose what you're snapping to. But yeah, it just bumps up right up to the grid here, and we're good to go. Now we have a perfectly in time bass part. One cool thing I can show you, this little play button right here. It solos that region and then loops it as well. So as you're messing with your MIDI information, you can go in and you can try out, or you can hear exactly what you just did without having to hear that annoying singer sing over top of your cool bass line. I'm a bassist, so you understand. One other cool little thing I'm going to show you, I'm going to select all, and I'm going to control click on a MIDI note. There's a bunch of options in here. They're, they're pretty, I don't know, there's a lot. But one that I actually use a lot is this trim note end following blah, 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 whatever, force legato. So if you click that, what just happened? The ends of each note bumped up to the beginning of the next note. So if you listen, like if I have this overhanging with that note, this is what it doesn't re-trigger the note. So take a listen. Right? So kind of like not exactly what I was trying to play. I want the note to re-trigger every time. So I'm going to do that force legato thing. Pretty nice. So that's a rock and bass line. I think we're good to move on. And you'll actually notice right there, I have the piano roll up. I could have hit P to close it, but what did I do? I double tapped X. I opened my mixer and then got rid of it because that's just the one I know the best. So I double tap X and I'm back into my arrange window, ready to go. Now we're going to create a drummer track. This is a new thing in Logic. And when I say new, I mean new in Logic 10. Because it's not that new anymore. We're a year or so, a couple years in maybe, I don't know. But this is one of the cool features that not a lot of the other programs are doing, if any. So what this is, it's like you called your friend over who's a drummer, and he's like ready to jam with you, or she, and they actually listen to everything you say, because I've been in lots of situations, especially me being a bassist, the drummer kind of like, oh, I'm going to play loud here and not care about what you do. This drummer listens to exactly what I want to say. Not only that, I have like 30 different drummers I can call and have come over to my house. So if I'm doing a rock song, let's say I'm doing an alternative song, I have all these drummers I can call to pick from. I'm going to pick Zach for no particular reason. You can see Zach has a little description down here of how he plays. Each drummer has their own like style. This dude has a different style. And down here, you have a drum kit. You can open up that drum kit. You can switch out drums. You can tune them. Bunch of different stuff. Pretty cool. This is... Well, okay, we don't have enough time to really dive deep into this right now, but with the masterclass I mentioned earlier, we're gonna spend a lot of time on this guy. But I'm gonna take you through just real quickly to show you a couple things. If you select a region, each region, you'll notice as I go back and forth, the parameters over here switch. So what that's doing is, right here we have like preset beats, whatever, that just kind of loads up a different parameter. So here we have this beat matrix, I guess we'll call it. You'll see it says simple, soft, loud, complex. So I'm going to play this back and just listen to what happens as I shift that around. Start down with the simple and so you can see you can put this anywhere you want. And I need some water. I'm in the zone. You can put that anywhere you want, and he listens to exactly what you want to say or what you want him to do, which is really convenient for drummers. You can also come over here and select which drums you want Gavin to play. So you can take out the kick, you can take out the snare, you can choose between hi-hat, toms, and cymbals. You can also add some aux percussion and be like, yo, Gavin, do some hand claps for me. And he's like, all right, I guess I have to. And my favorite button, or knob, I guess, you can say, hey, Gavin, chill out on those drum fills. God damn, man, you know? So here we go. You just chill that out, and you can actually see the waveforms, well, these like fake waveforms, change. And so nice simple drum fill, crank it up, and he's going to go crazy. Pretty cool, right? And the drum fills just happen at the end of each region. If I split this, you'll see the end of this region change because that he just does a drum fill out of the region. The super cool thing is you can go from verse to chorus to verse to chorus to bridge, whatever, and change the drum beats. So I can say in the first verse, I want it to be a little softer and a little simpler. And the chorus, I want it to be loud and not complex because chill out, Gavin, but loud and a little more complex. And also in the first verse, I want him to play the toms. So it's a pretty cool way to go about creating drum tracks. You don't really have to do a lot. You can just kind of mess around, and it's an easy way to get up and running. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to make a little drum track for our song. And because it's just the kind of guy I am, we're going to load up some hip hop. I think Anton looks like our guy. Cool. And I'm going to just do a little, hang on. There we go. Do a little thing here. Let's just listen to this. Oh, hey, cycle range. You hit C, and it turns on and off your cycle mode, which is like looping over and over again. So let's just take a listen to this. Change me. I wouldn't have it any. Change me. I wouldn't have it any. Change me. So that's cool, but one really cool thing I can do is I can come here, and down here you have kick, snare, claps. These are different patterns you can choose from. But more importantly, I can hit this follow button. What that allows me to do is select a different track in my song. For me, it's the bass. I'm going to make this drummer follow my bass because it's the best instrument. So now you can hear, let's get rid of these annoying.
Lock that. Can you show them the follow track thing again?
Yeah. Pro Tools, guys. Yeah. So if you click on a region, down here, this slider right here, kick, snares, claps, which it'll be kick and snare with the drum kit. If you slide this down around, it's different kinds of kick snare patterns. But the cool thing you can do is hit this follow button. And what that allows you to do is select a track a different track in your arrange window and make the kick and snare pattern follow that track. For me, we're going to follow the bass as I mentioned before. Cool. And now, see that? My kick and snare are following the bass. You can hear the kick drum line up exactly. Cool. Just gonna do this. I think that's right. So I want the hi-hat to come in 2 measures in. So you can see I have no hi-hat. I'll add a little maraca and then have the hi-hat come in. Let's take a listen to that. That'll work. Cool. Once again, we'll go over more of the drummer stuff in the master class. If you can check it out, do it. We're going to dive in deep to some of this stuff. Next thing we're going to go over, I'm going to create a new track. I'm going to create a software instrument. Of course, there's a key command to create just a software instrument, but you'll learn those later. I'm going to show you something pretty cool called MIDI effects. I'm going to load up a marimba here. I'm not even going to play this time. I'm just going to type in some MIDI notes to show you how to do that. So if I hit T, it pulls up my tool menu right here. So I don't have to scroll up here to pull up other tools. I can just hit T, and then I'm going to hit P, which is my pencil tool. Bam, I've got myself a MIDI region to work with. Double click that to pull up the piano roll again. I'm going to get rid of the library. And I'm just going to, let's see here. Just drawing some MIDI notes with, once again, command gets my secondary tool. We're all familiar with that by now. I'm going to drag that out to the end of the region. And I'm going to copy and paste this for my next chord. For those of you keeping score at home, we've got an F chord to a G chord going on with some dumb extra notes. I'm going to join these regions. And I'm going to hit loop so it loops out. And we'll just go forever. Cool. Let's talk about MIDI effects. So here I have my marimba track. At the top here, we have MIDI effects. Obviously, maybe, only the MIDI instrument channels have MIDI effects available. So MIDI effects essentially affect what my MIDI input is to my MIDI instrument. So the channel strip reflects that signal flow. So I have an arpeggiator here that then goes into my EXS24, which is my actual instrument. You can see I have an African marimba. And then all my plugins and busing happens and my sends happen. So if I hit, let's say, note repeater, and I can just play this, it repeats 3 times. I can make it repeat 14 times, and at a 32-second, I'm just holding down one note there. I'm just holding down a G, and it repeats that. So that's kind of how it works. Here is an arpeggiator. Let's see if we can get something cool going. Quick little shortcut for you that I didn't tell Mark about, so this is a secret one. You can't make it pop up. Real quick, we'll just go back to that in a second. I want this right here, these 2 tracks to continue, but if I hit loop like we talked about earlier, which is just L or dragging out, you'll see the bass loops just fine, but my drummer region only loops the last one. Now I need those regions to stay separate because they have different parameters. So if I select this, I'll hit toolbar so I can show you. There's this repeat section button, and if I hit command option, command control R. There we go. Now I can just repeat that, and they're going.
And that's command control R?
You know, that was actually command R.
Oh, cool.
Which is a different repeat section. I was just repeating regions, apparently.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Mark caught me, guys. I misspoke. But now we have this going on forever. Sounding cool, I'm sure. Well, I'm going to mess around with this marimba and see if we can get something. As it's playing, you won't be able to hear me talk, so I'm just gonna go for a little bit. We'll check back in. I'm digging that. I think that sounds super cool. So at the end, I busted up this send number 16, bus 16, which is going to this large hall reverb thing. So crank that up. Spacey sound. So I think that's pretty cool. Now, as a special treat, I'm going to show you guys how another cool feature in Logic. It's the guitar amp simulator guy. I'm just going to create a blank audio track. You can create a guitar or bass track that'll automatically load a bunch of, like we said with the library, an entire channel strip full of guitar and bass stuff. I'm going to just do it from a blank audio track just so I can build it and kind of show you exactly how that works. But when you're on your own, just load up a guitar bass channel strip. So here, I'm gonna load up my amp designer. Cool. And don't mind me, I'm just gonna shred for a minute here. That coming through okay? So we're just gonna go through this real quickly. Again, we'll go through it in more detail in the course, but the amp designer is super cool. Over here we have a bunch of different entire, I guess, models from the head to the cab and then also the microphone. And they're also, you know, they're pretty obviously modeled after certain real life amps, but legally it's a secret and I can't tell you which ones they are. So, as I flip through this, you'll notice stadium combo. I keep hitting that one. Sorry, that's boring. Let's go. You'll notice, let me back that down, it's loud. You'll notice that like you can change all of the your knobs on your amp head, so you can get a bunch of different sounds that way. Let's go. We'll stick with this. So not only that, you can change the head individually from the rest of your chain, or you can change the cabinet. So, versus not that different of a sound. Let's try it. Affects the sound in different ways. They're all modeled. I think that's fine. And also cool, you can change the microphone. So here we have a ribbon. We can change that to a 424. And we can even move the microphone. So you can see how awesome this guitar amp simulator is. And I've tried a bunch of different ones because I play guitar kind of not that great, but I do play. And this one's not bad. There's a lot of them out there, and it really is a pretty powerful one. So I'm a fan of it. I think it works really well. And now I'm going to shred just like a super complicated guitar part for you. let's do a take, see how it goes, and just like get ready to have your minds blown. Can we see the guitar in the shot? That's important to me.
Yeah, there you go.
Pretty rocking, right? I'm gonna do another take, and I'm gonna do this not because I messed up. I mean, I did mess up, but I also want to show all the recording engineers out there, and I guess everyone, how Logic handles making take folders. So I just recorded a take. I'm gonna just record another one. It's gonna record right over top of that. I'm also gonna play. Damn, that was a sweet guitar part. Let's put that away. Gonna turn off the input button right now, so we don't hear that ringing out. Now seems like a good time to mention I shouldn't read Ben's text out loud.
Smoke and mirrors.
Getting raspy. But yeah, so we're gonna go over this guitar amp simulator a whole bunch more in that 4-week course that we're starting on Sunday. Feel free to click the link below somewhere. I don't know if there's a link below. There's a link somewhere that if you're interested in it, check it out. But so let's notice what recording 2 tracks or 2 takes of the same part did on the same audio track. I have take 1 and take 2 right here, and it created this no, not a track stack, a take folder, right? So I can click this drop down arrow and it reveals my takes. So what's really cool about that is I often record artists that take, we'll say, a lot of vocal takes. I don't want to sing. Don't change me. But he takes a lot of takes. There's a link below. God damn it. Oh, hey. Also, thanks for watching. There's a coupon, so hit up that coupon that no one knows about yet. Yeah, I forgot to mention the coupon. Guys, thanks for watching. There's a coupon. I'm totally not getting texts from Ben right now telling me how to do this. Yeah, so
what's the coupon for?
The coupon is for the 4-week masterclass that's starting on Sunday. I believe it's half off.
Yes.
Is that correct? Half off. So that's some value right there. Check that out. If you're interested, now's the time to sign up. So, gonna be pretty cool. Back to take folders. As an engineer, I just went back and I hit the record button again, which by the way is R. I know that from doing that. I hit record, let it go, hit record again, record over that same region, and it created this for me. Now, what I didn't have to do was I didn't have to create a new playlist. I didn't have to drag down my current playlist to a certain thing. I've seen, a lot of Pro Tools sessions where recording a lot of takes, I don't know, maybe Pro Tools is meant for better musicians who need 2 or 3 takes, but I've, been in sessions where we record like 30, 40, 50 vocal takes of the verse because I work with, I guess, not that talented musicians. Being one myself, that's why I use Logic, I guess. Yeah, so the flow of this, recording multiple takes and creating a take folder, I can sit there as an engineer and hit 1, 2 buttons and I'm good to go, and it automatically creates it for me. Also really cool is the ability to use Logic's quick swiping comping mode. So you'll see this little icon pop up as I'm down in my takes. Not up here because this is my region, but so here are my takes and I can listen back. So whatever I highlight, I guess is a good way to explain this, pops up to the top. And that is what we hear when we play back. So, I killed this part, so they're 2 like super good takes. So you're not going to really hear a difference, but it's going to play take 2, pop down to take 1, pop back up to take. And I actually hit a note I didn't mean to. I meant to hit that note, so. pretty easy way to comp. You can really get in there with vocalist, you know, do the thing where you're comping the first half of one word and the, you know, second half of the same word, quite easily, super efficiently. You can also save multiple comps. So this is comp A. You can create new comps within the menu. It's super easy. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to flatten this, which essentially I still have these full regions to work with. I was in bar mode. Still these full regions to work with, but it just collapses my take folder into what my comp was. So now I don't have to deal with all those bad takes. I'm just chilling with my awesome comp take. I'm actually going to listen to this, make sure it's okay. It's fine. I'm going to join this. Command J, the first one we learned. But my timing is, not great. I totally did that on purpose. My real life timing is stupendous. But I just did this to prove a point. Let's take a look at flex pitch. Flex time. Got me. Come up here with your mouse, hit this flex time icon, or Command F, and it reveals this flex time thing. Now flex time lets you, it's a lot like elastic audio. It lets you expand and compress actual audio. So these are different algorithms you can choose from if you click on this guy. You can go in the manual and read about which algorithm to use at each time. Sorry, I just got a text from one of my musicians who was not happy I said we're not that talented. It's Fran. Fran's great. Everyone else sucks. I was talking about Bobby, Fran. Lay off. I'm gonna.
So you can tell them who those guys are.
Oh yeah. So the people texting me right now are the people in this band that we're listening to called Kid Runner, which is the band I play bass for. Camera's doing some stuff. I don't know if that matters, but so I know from reading the manual, because I don't know if there's a better way to do this. You can hit automatic, but you know, I like to have more control than letting Logic choose things for me. I'm going to hit rhythmic as my algorithm to chop this up, and you'll see it creates a bunch of little lines over each transient. Now I can come here and I can drag these transients around and affect how they're played. That sucks, but just to prove to you that you can. More importantly, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to quantize it because I'm just not that good and I want it to be perfect. When I say perfect, I mean on the grid. We can cover groove tracks later to, like, you know, add some feel back in there. But right now, we're going to be on the grid. So I'm going to quantize that to a 16th note. And you can see it moves stuff around. The stuff that's white and the stuff that's blue means different stuff. I think blue is when it's stretched. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's more of a functional thing. So now we have a perfectly quantized guitar. Which will allow me to do something like add a cool pedal. No, I loaded Bass Amp Designer. Close. Pedal board, that's what we're looking for. And I'm going to just quickly drag this up top before my amp in the signal flow. Once again, you can see how this inspector comes in handy. I don't have to open up my mixer to deal with this stuff. I'm highlighted, I'm working on this track. Good to go. So here's pedal board, and I'm going to just throw a little delay on here. I'm going to play back, and we'll just see what I can come up with. That's bad. I'm going to sync it first. That works for me. Get it out of flex mode. Cool. I'm going to cut this guy. And we'll loop this guy. Did I go over L for looping?
Yeah.
L for looping. Goes on forever until it hits a region. Cool. Also, you'll notice that the loop thing is right there. Right there. Very cool. Lots of different ways to do any function in Logic. Cool. So we got ourselves a nice little jam going on here. And yeah, I'm gonna get into it now a little bit. Don't mind if I do.
Before you do that, do you want to show them the trailer for the course?
Okay, yeah. Mark, my Pro Tools guy back here, wants me to show you the Logic trailer real quick. He's gonna play that, and then we'll get into some cool stuff.
It's almost as good as a Pro Tools trailer.
It's not as good as that. Let's go. Hey everyone, I'm Scott Griffin, instructor for our new masterclass, Logic Pro X for singer-songwriters. It's one thing to write a song, but it's another to create a recording that lets you share it with the world. With so many tools, options, and menus, sometimes it's even hard to know where to start. We designed this 4-week masterclass to help you with the process of recording a song by working step by step on an actual demo from scratch, using the song Don't Change Me by my band, Kid Runner. Week after week, starting with an a cappella vocal of the song. You'll create an arrangement by adding drums and bass with Logic's built-in tools and instruments, comping vocal takes, and polishing tracks with tools like FlexTime and FlexPitch. Before each assignment, I'll be hosting a weekly live stream to teach you techniques and shortcuts that will jumpstart your creative output and increase your speed in Logic. After the assignment, I'll be providing feedback as well as answering any questions you might have about the process. Of course, before we finish, we'll take a look at mixing inside of Logic and exporting the new demo for the world to hear. By the end of this masterclass, you'll have a deep understanding of the tools available to take your song ideas from rough recordings to polished demos that you can share with others. If you want to spend more time creating and less time figuring out how to use the software, then this is the masterclass for you. For more information and to sign up, click the link below and I'll see you in class. For anyone who joined late, I'm Scott Griffin. I'm streaming to you from Columbus, Ohio. We're talking about Logic, if you haven't figured that out yet. And we're kind of running out of time here, so I have a couple more really cool things I want to show you, but I'm going to kind of fly through them because I don't really have time to explain each and every detail. I'll kind of go over the main stuff as we go. But yeah, you just saw a trailer for the course that's starting on Sunday. Sign up, it's going to be awesome if this is at all interesting to you. And the coupon code is for 50% off, so like that's value, man. That's awesome. So, yeah, I'm gonna do some advanced editing. I was exaggerating how much movement I need in my hands. So just kind of bear with me. It's gonna be a little weird at first, but it'll get there. Don't change me. Oh, let me just chill out that guitar. It's going a little. Don't change me. I wouldn't have it any. Don't change me. So right now, my snap mode is set to division, which is going to allow me to do some pretty cool vocal chopping stuff. This kind of stuff is pretty popular right now in pop music, so I don't know. I guess I'm going to teach you all my secrets, but here we go. Don't want that. Change me. Sounds weird right now, but we'll get there, don't worry. Gonna add a little delay to this to make it a little more bearable along the way. Change me. I should probably have not my marimba track selected, but my audio track. You'll see that my marimba track was selected. I added delay to that. Big mistake, Scott. We're live. No time for that. Little X.
Change me. Change me. Change me. Change me.
That'll work.
I wouldn't have it any other. Any other way.
Cool little glitch there. Let's go here. Drag this guy out. What's up?
Let them know how you're doing that. Just with the
So,
option jack.
yeah, so what I just did there was I used my beautiful, amazing marquee tool, right? And I'm selecting little sections here of the vocals. I'm clicking on it, and I'm option dragging it to copy it. So now
Change me. I want change me.
I'm gonna just repeat that section over and over again. Gives us a cool little vocal glitch. So that's cool. For fun, let's reverse this guy right now. Pull that up there.
Change me. I wouldn't have it any other way. Don't change me. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Cool. Pretty cool little vocal glitch thing. I'm gonna just do a little bit of fine editing here. And question from the crowd. Marimba is panned hard left, but I hear it in both speakers. Ah, there you go. Question from the crowd. Marimba is panned hard left, but so the question is, why are we hearing the marimba in both speakers when it's panned hard left? That's because I sent it heavily to bus 16, which is this reverb channel. So we're hearing
Don't change me. I wouldn't have it any other way.
awesome. We have a cool little like remixy vocal glitch thing going on.
Can you solo safe your talkback mic?
Solo safe my talk back mic.
Yeah, and let them know how to solo safe stuff too, because I don't know how to do it. Logic.
What is solo safe? What does that mean?
Oh, like to.
Oh, so it's always soloed?
Yeah.
Oh, good call. Yeah, I gotcha.
When you soloed something, it.
Yeah, okay, good call. Control, and then hit the solo button. You'll see it crosses that out right there. And now, whenever I solo something else, you can still hear me because my talkback mic is solo saved. Thank you, Pro Tools Mark.
Yeah, go ahead and let them know about Mute-O-Matic too. How we're doing that with muting your during playback.
Yeah. So what did we miss anything important there that I kind of, because I was soloed?
No, I think it was okay. You were explaining something and then you soloed a track. So.
Whatever I just explained was like, that was the thing. So I'm sorry you missed it. It's a real bummer. But yeah. Also, just to show you real quick, this pretty cool plugin Mute-O-Matic on my talkback mic. It is so. Hey, here's how your plugins are organized in Logic. All your built-in ones are here, and all of your third-party plugins are down in the audio units guy, and they're organized by the maker of the plugin. So all my universal audio ones, and when I say my, I mean Mark's, are over here. I don't have this many UA plugins. I wish I did. Sound Toys. We're using Mutomatic on the talkback mic. And what this does, is every time we hit play, it's gonna automatically mute. So you can hear, guys, what's up? What's up? What's the Ace Ventura thing where he's just opening and closing the door? Yeah. We'll do that next time.
So you can let them know that this plugin's free on SoundRadix's website.
I didn't know it was free. That's a free plugin on SoundRadix's website. So yeah, I'm gonna download that as soon as we get out of here. That's a good one. Cool. Were we soloed for the marimba when I explained the panning?
Yeah.
Okay, just real quick. Point was when you're post pan, that's sending your signal after the pan, so you're on the left all the way, even in the send. When you're post fader, it goes before the pan, so it's sending to both sides. And when you're pre-fader, it actually goes before the fader, so I can turn my fader all the way down, and it's gonna still send to the aux at unity. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. We'll show you. So you can see there, I turned my my fader all the way down, and it was still going. Whereas if we're just post fader, that's how that works. Also, we're solo safe, so you can hear me right now, even with the marimba. That once again was control and click on the solo guy. All right, where are we? We're chopping up some cool vocals.
Don't change me. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I think that's pretty cool. I'm gonna add fades to this because there's a lot of edits and it's good to add fades to those. I'm just gonna select them, come over to our inspector that we learned about earlier, fade in, let's go like that, fade out, go like that, take a listen, make sure we're cool. I'm gonna solo it out.
Don't change me. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm cool with that. These ones, I want to actually bump up the fades a little more.
Change me. Change me. Change me. I wouldn't have it.
Pretty cool. Very easy way to add a bunch of fades all at one time. Let's talk about flex pitch. We almost talked about it earlier when I messed up. So same icon as flex edit. Click that guy, and I'm gonna hit flex pitch. It's gonna analyze. Actually, 1 second. When you chop up, okay, it's all fucky now. When you chop up a bunch of vocals, flex pitch gets a little freaked out. So I'm actually gonna join this track, audio region, and now let flex pitch do its thing. So, all right, we are properly analyzed for flex pitch now. Flex pitch is the new way in Logic to tune, especially vocals, but really anything. It's of the style of like Melodyne. It's super cool because it's built in, and it's pretty powerful, especially for a built-in thing. It's pretty awesome. How it works is you just saw me hit flex pitch, hit this little icon right here, and it analyzed it. So in this mode right here where you're kind of like not zoomed out far enough, you can just tune the sharpness and flatness of the vocal. That's not really what we're here for. Double click on that, and now we're in it, man. Here we have a piano roll showing us with a little box guy what note we're playing, or what note Drew is singing.
Don't change me. I wouldn't.
Mind you, this is normally used for like tuning a nice, pretty, not chopped up vocal, but the idea is the same. So each box, when you hover over it, shows you 3 little dot things, right? Or 6, sorry, that was some bad math. Corners, top, bottom. Each one does a different operation within this flex pitch. On the top left, we have pitch drift into the note. So click and hold on that. And we're affecting that pitch drift in. So I'll just exaggerate this.
Don't change.
You hear that? Whoop. Wow.
Don't change.
Cool. This on the top right is your opposite. It's the pitch drift out. This is going to sound.
Don't change. Don't change.
That's some awesome pitch correcting. Now, when you're actually doing pitch correction, you obviously want to do this with some finesse, or it'll start to sound all, pitch corrected, and you don't want that. To move whole notes, you just use the hand tool, which it automatically turns to when you're on it, up and down. But to do the fine pitch, where you're making it sharper, flatter overall, you're using this top middle guy. We're adjusting the fine pitch now. Pretty good right there. On the bottom left, you have gain, so you can see my waveform getting bigger and smaller. Pretty convenient to have that right there in flex pitch. The bottom middle is vibrato, which, by the way, I don't have this memorized. It's telling me right there on the screen exactly what it is, so that's pretty cool. So you can hear flatten it out or exaggerate the vibrato of a thing. So if you want to flatten it out, it'll sound kind of like, the classic T-Pain, Cher, auto-tune type thing. And then on the right bottom corner, we have formant shift. I don't know how to explain what formants is. I know what it is. The note stays the same, but the quality of the note moves up and down. The best way is to just hear it, so I'll just show you real fast. So, just to show you this, I'm going to show you over here. It'll be easier to understand. Let's work with that note. Here's a nice me. Oh, I'm a really good singer. I'm going to shift the formants up. That was a super exaggerated version. And here's like up a little. That's kind of like making it sound more feminine. More than anything, it doesn't sound like, wow, that's a chick singing it. It sounds like a formant shift. You can also move it down. Move it way down. Kind of a special effect there, I guess. It comes in handy if you, say, change a note or you're making a harmony and you end up moving a bunch of notes up or, kind of making them higher, because as you move a note up, I should zero out that formant shift. Whoa. I don't know what I just did.
Don't change me.
Huh. That's a new one. Anyways, if I move this note up, it starts to sound weird. I can formant it down. It's not going to sound great. Sounds, I don't know. I don't know if that's better, but that's the idea behind it. But what I like to do, a little Scotty G special for you, is take these chopped up vocals and then mess around with the notes and the formants and do cool stuff. So I'm going to fly for a second.
Don't change me. I wouldn't have it any.
This is a pretty cool one. I'm going to pull up a scissor tool because I want to chop these chops individually. Scissor. That one's a little close. Cool. Back to my normal guy. And I'm going to change the notes here to create a little rhyme. Pretty cool. And now I'm going to mess with the formants, because in a special effect choppy thing, that's pretty cool. So here's where we're at.
Don't change me. I wouldn't have it any.
Pretty dope. And then I'm going to take this guy, throw it up like an octave, I guess. What are we on? We're on an E. I'm going to take the formants with. I think that's pretty cool. So here's where we're at.
Don't change me. I wouldn't have it any.
Pretty cool. Mention. Yeah, so this is just coming from my brain and not from Ben's text. In the 4-week course, we're going to dive deeper into Melodyne, or not Melodyne, Flex Pitch, and really kind of dive into how to use it, especially more in a traditional sense where you're tuning vocals and making them sound very normal, very not like they're pitched or anything, but also tuned well, like as if the singer sang it really good for the first time. Cool. I'm gonna do one quick other thing for you. I've hit most of the things I wanted to do, but this is actually 2 things. I'm not going to really explain this too far, but I just got to show you track stacks because to me it's like the greatest thing in the world. This is great for organizing giant projects. I often work with sessions that are just blown up, 150, 200 tracks. So to stay organized and also to create submixes super easily, you can select a bunch of tracks. So I'm going to select all my instrument tracks over here, except for the drummer. I think the drummer doesn't like track stacks. And I'm going to control click on this guy, and I'm going to create a track stack, or Shift Command D. You can create a folder stack, which essentially creates a VCA. Not very fun, but has its place. Or you can create a summing stack. All right, so what just happened? We now have this additional track with this little drop-down icon. You can click on that, and it collapses all those tracks. Really nice for organizing. Let's say you have 10 tracks of drums, create a track stack, boom, nice and organized. Label this. I'm going to do instruments because it's not drums, but quite convenient there. And then, oh, look at me being lazy. This is a guitar, guys. Sorry about that. So not only does it make this organizationally awesome, but it automatically creates a submix. So before, let's go over here. Before our output of these 3 that are contained in this track stack, you can see this arrow collapses then. Before, these guys were routed to the stereo output, right? Just like the rest of these are. So the output is stereo out. Now, as soon as I created that track stack, it automatically routed them to bus, and it just used the first available bus. Now it's called 17. And it created a new auxiliary track, which is right here, with the input of bus 17. So now I can hit solo, and I'm soloing out just those. You can also mute all of them. More importantly, I can affect all of these tracks at the same time like you would like a drum submix or anything else you might want to use a submix for. So if I throw a compressor on here, I'm not going to go find it. I'm just going to click on the little gain icon. Now I'm compressing all 3 of these tracks together at the same time, and it's awesome. And it's super fast. It's, if you get the key command down, select all your tracks, key command, you're rolling. Super easy to stay organized. I'm going to just collapse that so our session looks nice and neat. All right, last thing we're going to do today, I'm going to close out a flex view. I'm going to create a cool little instrument using this vocal track, using a sample from the vocal track. Once again, this is a very popular technique right now in pop music. I like, for what it is. I'm going to select it. I'm actually going to pump up this real fast. And I'm going to bounce this in place. Now what that does, and I'll explain why I'm doing this in a second. What that does is it prints any effects I have on this, and it bounces it to a whole new audio file, right? It's a whole new audio file. So, I can talk about new pan. Oh, good one. I'll catch you on the pan options in just a minute. I bet that wasn't the audience. I bet that was Ben.
That was the audience.
Nice. Good job, audience. That was a good catch. I have my Pro Tools stuff here.
How's that keyboard working out?
horribly. Why? It's got a bunch of Pro Tools shortcuts written on it. All right, well, I'm going to finish. We'll come back to this in just a second. Real quick, panning in Pro Tools, or sorry, God, you got me. Panning in Logic, stereo panning used to really kind of not exist. It has this sort of, I don't know. It's like a balance thing, right? So it actually is called balance. And it just moves, I don't know what it does, but it's confusing and I don't like it. Whereas Pro Tools, you have 2 pan knobs for your stereo track, which makes a ton of sense. Logic didn't work like that. You couldn't individually affect the left and right channel and move them in a different spot. You could, but there was a weird workaround and it sucked. Now you can control click on the pan and you can change it to stereo pan. So, not that it's super easy to tell what just happened, but I can take this right side of this and you'll see like the little white guy highlights and I can move that and now my right channel is moving left. Conversely, left channel right. I can also come to the top of this where they're both now highlighted and I can limit my stereo field, bringing them from hard pan left right to brought in there. So that's the cool new Pro Tools version, Pro Tools Logic version of Pro Tools panning. It's not like the super cool new thing. They basically just fixed something that they should have probably had a long time ago. But yeah, so that's the new stereo panning in Logic. Pretty cool. All right, back to the last super cool thing we're gonna do. So like we said, I'm gonna bounce this in place, which is gonna print all of my audio effects, not the buses, but all the audio effects in this chain. And also, the real reason I'm doing it is because it prints the flex pitch. And this is pitched up an octave. It sounds like some weird, I don't know what it sounds like, but it's something crazy. Like a hawk from Donkey Kong 64 or something. Like exactly what it sounds like. All right, bounce in place. I'm going to control click on that. Bounce and join. I see that my shortcut is Control B. So Control B. Got a couple of options. The big one is I can bypass my effects and plugins. I don't want to do that. Cool. And include my whatever. Yeah, it's good to go. So now you'll hear this is a raw audio file now. Let me turn off these buses just to prove it to you. There's nothing affecting this. I've got my delay on there. I've got the reverbs that are on there, the compression, anything that was on here before is now printed. The reason I want to do that is because I want to make an instrument out of this. Getting raspy. This is what happens when you go over time. You start to lose your voice. I'm going to control click on this. And you'll notice, by the way, up here, there's some stuff. This is like your most recent, it tells you recent 5 items. I'm actually looking for this convert to new sampler track because I practiced a little bit before we got here. So come down to convert to new sampler track, and you actually have a key command for it. And I want this to use the regions. I can use the transients, but for this, we're going to use the regions. So we don't really have time to dive into everything I'm doing here because this is a whole hour thing in itself to cover all this. But right now I have a sample, that sample, the hawk from Donkey Kong, loaded into an instrument. So if I click on that, I'm good to go. I know that note is an E. I'm going to just call it E3 because it's probably an E3. And I'm going to make my range go the entire length of the keyboard. So here's my E3. And you can see I now have an instrument built off of that one audio sample. I'm going to make this a one shot, which is going to play the whole sample, get out of here, save like the 5th one of these to Mark's computer. It's totally fine. And I'm going to make it mono so right now I can play chords. I don't really want to do that. I just wanted to trigger one note at a time. And I'm going to turn my glide up a tinge more. And there's also a little blip at the end of this. I can add, what is it? Somehow there's a way to add a fade out here. Trying to remember sample. Yeah, here we go. You can add a little bit of a fade. Bigger fade. Way bigger fade. You know what? The audio sample. Oh, you know what? It's a super long audio sample. I'd have to go back and fix that when I bounce it in place and add a better fade, but we don't have time for that right now. That's my bad. So we're going to add a little click in there. And for fun, let's throw this through like a guitar amp. That'll work. And just like jam out a little melody here. Unmute that. Oops. Pro Tools keyboard. Okay, so I really sucked for the first few bars of that. I just like probably the last. Delete everything before that. Get rid of this first note. And crank that guy up. Select all, quantize. Let's take a listen to it. Cool. So yeah, I mean that's we just made an instrument out of that, out of Drew's voice, then pitched all over the place. Kind of a cool thing. We dial it in a little bit more in real life, but I think it's good enough to kind of show you exactly what's going on. I'm gonna take this back and we'll kind of listen to everything we did real fast. And from there, anyone that has any more questions, shoot them my way right now because we're wrapping up. But here's where we're.
Don't change me.
Real fast. I'm going to solo stuff out and kind of tell you. We made this marimba with the arpeggiator, which has the MIDI effect on it, which gives us the. We've got a guitar track that we flex timed to make it perfect, and that also really helps this pedal board delay line up. We've got a mighty synth bass going on, and it's nice and quantized. And we've got a drummer going on. Drummers. Let's make that one go crazy. All right, here we go. Got ourselves a little song going on. Now spend 5 minutes. All right, Ben wants me to spend 5 minutes explaining how cool my course is going to be. I'm going to spend like a minute. So starting this Sunday, as I mentioned before, but if you joined us late, we're starting a 4-week masterclass where we're going through some of this stuff, but it's we're going to dive into things like the drummer much more deeply, flex pitch. A lot of this stuff we're spending over like an hour live stream each week to kind of go through each individual project each week. And I'm going to be sending you, we're actually using the same song, Don't Change Me, from Kid Runner, the greatest band in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, so we're going to use that. We're going to build a whole demo around it. We're going to dive deep into the drummer. We're going to dive deep into MIDI editing. We're going to dive deep into the guitar amp designer. And then we're going to tune the vocals so Drew doesn't sound like a terrible, terrible singer that he is. I'm just kidding. He's great. But yeah, that's going to expand over 4 weeks. I'm going to be sending you audio files and tracks and sessions to work on. You'll have assignments each week, and you'll send them back, and I'll tell you if you did good or if you didn't do good and how you can do better. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's starting this Sunday. There's a coupon code that's happening right now that's half off. So that's great value for what you're getting. So yeah, that's going to be the course. We're going to cover anything cool that you heard here, most of it at least, and it's going to be awesome. And also, you'll have a lot of individual one-on-one attention there. If you have any questions that pertain to the course or even on the outside of the realm of the course, which is, like we explained before, for like singer-songwriters creating demos, I'll be able to answer them. You'll have, one-on-one time with me if you want it. You can email me, text me, or whatever. I think Slack is the preferred. There's a way to communicate. It's my first course, so I'm learning too. But yeah, so I think that's it. Mark, are we good?
Yeah, I think so. We had just a couple more questions.
Cool. Yeah.
Do you want to take one or two more?
Yeah, sure thing. Oh, my voice.
We won't make you do too much more.
Yeah. Sure thing.
So let's see. One person was asking about performance on laptops, and I thought that was interesting given your case with your laptop. So he was saying, is it pretty CPU heavy? Pro Tools is quite heavy for him.
So yeah, I mean, performance on laptop was the question. How is if it's too? I don't know if they can hear you, but I'll just repeat the question. Yeah. Question from the audience: if Logic is CPU intensive for your laptop, let's pull it up here. This is my 17-inch 2011 MacBook Pro. I've been using this since 2011, and this is my main computer I record. This is what I'm doing 150 track sessions plus on. It is a pretty powerful laptop, so, like that being said, your laptop has to be pretty good. As you add more and more tracks and more stuff to it, of course, it starts to bog down eventually, but I very rarely run into a problem, especially when I'm running all of Logic's built-in stuff. When you start to kind of like get bogged down, that's more if you're running like third-party synthesizers that are just like known for being CPU intensive. There's nothing you can really do about that. But using most of Logic's built-in stuff, very rarely run into a problem. I think mostly when I do is when I'm mixing, I'm using a ton of plugins and a ton of third-party plugins. That's when I really start to see the performance start to lag. But, generally, it's pretty awesome. Also, just a quick little, if you're jamming on your laptop, nope, wrong one. If you hit Command K, you got a cool little keyboard right here. So, yeah, so that's built in. And if you have the new one, there's a whole touch bar thing going on. I can't exactly tell you how that works because, like I said, I'm on the 2011, so Mark has the new one. It seems pretty cool.
Thomas Braun asked if you place your library on an external hard drive.
I don't. I leave. You can. Oh yeah. Thomas Braun. What's up? Wants to know if I place my library on an external hard drive. Technically no, because I actually have 2 hard drives in my 2011 MacBook Pro. I took out the CD drive or DVD drive or whatever, and I put in a second solid state drive. So point is, functionally, yes, and you can, and all my third-party libraries and stuff like that are on not my operating system drive, not my startup drive. So functionally the same thing as an external hard drive. And yes, it's very doable. All my Apple loops, that kind of stuff takes up a whole bunch of stuff. Can't really get into it right now, but here are a bunch of Apple loops. There's about 1 billion of them, and it takes up like 35,000 gigs of gigs of storage, gigabytes on your computer. So that's yeah, using an external hard drive, at least for me, works really, really well. So yeah, totally possible.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, let's, we'll show them the trailer one more time to just remind them on the coupon, and then we'll say goodbye after the trailer.
Cool. All right. Here's the trailer. There's a coupon, half off. Roll it. Hey everyone, I'm Scott Griffin, instructor for our new masterclass, Logic Pro X for singer-songwriters. It's one thing to write a song, but it's another to create a recording that lets you share it with the world. With so many tools, options, and menus, sometimes it's even hard to know where to start. We designed this 4-week masterclass to help you with the process of recording a song by working step by step on an actual demo from scratch, using the song Don't Change Me by my band, Kid Runner. Week after week, starting with an a cappella vocal of the song. You'll create an arrangement by adding drums and bass with Logic's built-in tools and instruments, comping vocal takes, and polishing tracks with tools like FlexTime and FlexPitch. Before each assignment, I'll be hosting a weekly live stream to teach you techniques and shortcuts that will jumpstart your creative output and increase your speed in Logic. After the assignment, I'll be providing feedback as well as answering any questions you might have about the process. Of course, before we finish, we'll take a look at mixing inside of Logic and exporting the new demo for the world to hear. By the end of this masterclass, you'll have a deep understanding of the tools available to take your song ideas from rough recordings to polished demos that you can share with others. If you want to spend more time creating and less time figuring out how to use the software, then this is the masterclass for you. For more information and to sign up, click the link below and I'll see you in class. Welcome back from the trailer, guys. I just want to say thank you so much for being here. This was my first live stream, so I hope I did okay. Be nice to me on the comment boards. I hope to see you guys in the class. It starts this Sunday. Once again, there's a coupon, so that's awesome. If you're going to do it, now's the time to sign up. Check it out. Hopefully, I'll catch some of you guys on Sunday. Thanks for being here.